which included making sure that we have good eye contact with and I'll make them say that. We have good eye contact with everyone, that we organize our speeches, and that we have good tone and inflection, and most of all, that we speak loudly and with confidence. Each of the students will talk about a number of things. It will start out in this way. Each student will give a speech. Each student was allowed to pick the topic of his or her choice, and that will go forward in that way. Each student has done his or her own research and organized his or her speech in the way they would like it to be organized. We will also have two debates. The first debate will be on the issue of whether the metric system should be abolished, and the second debate will be on the issue of whether we should abolish. Let me back up. The first debate will be on the issue of whether or not term limits for U.S. presidents should be abolished. The second debate will be on the issue of whether or not the United States should convert to the metric system. It will proceed in this fashion. First, we will have 6 of the students give their speech. Then we will have the debate. Then we have another 6 students give their speeches, and then we will have the debate. And I would like to personally thank my volunteer assistant, Eli Stu, who helped out a lot and really made it a wonderful class and helped the children learn. And she will introduce
coming here today. I feel like this has been a really nice week for this camp because I've seen these kids go from really shy and not speaking up and maybe stumbling over their words a little bit. I've seen them go from that to confident speakers who can clearly articulate their ideas to an audience. And I think that you will see these results too as soon as they come up and start speaking. So our first speaker is going to be Caroline Joe.
Do you use technology in school? Does it help you in your studies? Or is it just an distraction? Hi, my name is Caroline Zoe. A common thing that grown-ups are debating on is whether kids should have online teaching or in-school teaching. I like to refer it as technology and teachers. Many of you may like to play on electronics or on the internet, but letting technology teach you isn't as reliable as teaching. My first reason is that you might get a 90-degree lens on your glasses. All those electronics can make your eyes teary and tired. I don't even want to wear glasses, so don't try to force me to wear a contact lens. Now, we can all admit that we will fool around on electronics once we have the opportunity to touch them. And that may be the case if children get taught by technology. Kids will fool around on weird websites. They will play games and not focus on the lesson. The main point is, teachers control students better than technology does. Therefore, teachers are way better than technology because technology can hurt your eyes and doesn't control students as well as teachers do. Technology can help us, but will never replace us. What type do you want? Thank you.
Next speaker is Michelle.
Magic, powers, fun. Has it all. Hi, my name is Deanna Chow, and I'm going to tell you about the Disney Cruise and what's great about it. The Disney Cruise is great for both kids and adults. You may think it's just for kids, but it's not. There's an adult-only place, but since I'm not an adult, I don't know what goes on in there. And there's kids-friendly Disney characters and fun movies. There's also a family-friendly musical and really, really fun water slides. You will have guaranteed fun. From musicals to the The Disney cruise is family friendly, fun, and allows you to explore. Don't believe in magic? Go on a Disney cruise. See what you can discover. Most of all, have fun.
We live and survive in the environment, so therefore it is important to take good care of it. My name is Eileen Chi, and today I'm going to be talking about environmentalism. Ocean pollution is harming creatures without really that terrible intention. Debris can vary from plastic bottles to metal cans dumped in oceans and rivers. Marine animals and even sharks are harmed by garbage directly from landfills. Plastic bags can suffocate animals just like they can to humans. Earth is being harmed by loss of biogenetic diversity, deforestation, and climate change. Forests and rainforests are being cleared at a fast rate. Climate change and global warming are causing trouble for food production and might be the answer to many species being endangered. To help with this problem, first we need to understand what is going on in many parts of the world, like global warming and air pollution. Pollution from factories is causing problems with the climate as well as the greenhouse effect. It is a form of global warming when the heat from the sun gets trapped by the atmosphere and doesn't go back to space. It might seem harmless to just throw a wrapper out the car window, but if everyone did that, the whole world would be covered in wrappers. Examples of easy things you can do every day are recycling, controlling the use of electricity, water, and not littering or polluting. I think that these actions are the least we can do. We need to pay attention and take caution on how these problems affect organisms. In conclusion, we should do our part to take care of the Earth. After all, it's not just my planet, it's our planet.
Our next speaker is Harry Zhu.
Who in here has a feeling what's happening? The majority of the people in the United States have some type of electronic device that they regularly use. We should be spending less time on our electronics. Electronics can reduce sleep time, hurt your eyes, and help gain extra weight. First of all, electronics can reduce sleep. Blue light emitted by most screens stops the production of melatonin, which is the hormone that controls your sleep cycle. Reducing melatonin makes it harder to fall asleep. Also, just because you don't use electronics at night doesn't mean your sleep can't be affected. Chimes from texts and emails can still wake you up at night. Next, electronics can hurt your eyes. When you look at an electronic, you'll blink less, causing eye dryness that leads to itching and burning. Many people might also experience headaches due to eye strain. It is possible to become nearsighted with too much screen time. Third of all, electronics can cause extra weight. Sitting in front of a TV eating snacks is not going to help you. Mendoza, an assistant professor of Baylor College of Medicine, found that computers in kids were usually heavier than kids who didn't use computers. In conclusion, choosing to limit screen time is a better option. It can help gain sleep, protect your eyes, and avoid gaining extra weight. So next time you pick up your phone, think about how long you will be on.
Our next speaker is Annie Gunn.
Hi, my name is Annie Gunn. Many students ask, what is the point of having grades? Nowadays, students place greater focus on their scores rather than on learning. They spend more time studying about the grades. To change this outlook, many schools have started to use gamified learning in their classrooms. What exactly is gamified learning? The gamification of learning is an educational approach to motivate students to learn by using video game design and game elements in learning environments. Many people can't decide whether to welcome this new concept, but in the end, it goes out with it. To start with, most computer games have reward systems such as earning points, medals, ribbons, etc. Many websites act as an impetus for the students to learn more by putting in more effort. One of the biggest problems for children of this generation is getting them to see learning as fun and interesting. Kids want to learn what they want to, not what they are forced to. By using online gaming, students are able to stay on a topic as long as they want until they understand it. Having a teacher teach the same thing is different because he or she can move too fast, where some students can't process things. Online gaming lets the students choose the pace at which they learn. It leads you through the material step by step, and you can always go back and review something. In conclusion, I would recommend that classrooms use online gaming. By using this approach to education, our society will be able to advance and flourish to create a better and more educated world.
I'll be talking about why cats are better than dogs. Last year, researchers from Carleton University in Wisconsin made a study on differences between people who are identified as cat people versus dog people. One of the study's most proactive findings was that cat people score higher intelligence than dog people. Getting a cat will not make you magically smarter, but to the study's findings, cat people are more introverted, more open-minded, and more likely to be non-conformist. Cats are less slobbering. A study conducted by researchers at Princeton University and Massachusetts Institute of Technology found that cats are much more efficient when it comes to drinking water. Dogs smash their tongues into the water surface with a force up to 8 times that of gravity. Cats delicately dip their tongues into the water with a force twice of gravity, neatly filling up a column of liquid to swallow. Cats are cheaper than dogs. According to the ASPCA, owning a cat instead of a dog can save a minimum of $300 to $800 a year. Dogs need leashes, collars, and since they are bigger, they tend to need more food. And they also tend to need more toys. In conclusion, I believe cats are better than dogs. Which one do you like better?
Thank you. Now we will have our first debate on the issue of whether the U.S. should abolish term limits for presidents. Would the two teams please come? These two teams have determined and selected among themselves the order in which they will go, with the pro team starting out first. You may begin.
Hello, my name is Gulam Yu, and I strongly believe that we should abolish term limits for president because it is undemocratic. First of all, the people of the U.S. have the right to determine the length of time a president is in office. The people should be able to decide whether a president or administration should get an additional term. The people should have a right to choose to keep a president who is doing a good job. For example, FDR, he was elected to 4 terms because everybody liked him and he was a great president. Eisenhower says that term limits a president's power during the 2nd term because people don't worry about him being reelected again. Additionally, some policies require long-term leadership to succeed, which term limits do not allow. Plus, the original Constitution doesn't set term limits. My opponent may say that Washington did not serve his 3rd term, but that was partly because of health issues. In conclusion, I believe that we should abolish term limits because it is undemocratic and we should be able to keep our great presidents. Finally, the original Constitution did not include term limits.
Hi, I am Nancy Jung, and I strongly believe that we should not abolish term limits for the president. First of all, if you abolish the term limits for the president could either act like a monarch or a dictator. My opponent said that George Washington did not serve a 3rd term because of health problems, but actually he was also trying to stop being a dictator. And when she said it was undemocratic to not have any 3rd term, but if one political party always controls the whole White House, then and other people don't have their voices heard, then how is that democratic? In conclusion, this is why I think that we should not abolish terms for the president.
Hello, my name is Christopher Drake, and I strongly believe that we should abolish the president's term limits. I think that the people should have the right to choose who is president because they have the right to do so. Original Constitution allowed the president to have more than 2 terms. I also think that the people should have the right to express what they want to change about the government. Opponents may say that the president might act like kings and queens. But the thing is, if they act like kings and queens, then the people won't vote for them again. They might also say that a political party might dominate. But as I said before, people won't vote for that specific political party if they're dominating the White House. Just because the president is acting like a king or queen doesn't mean that the people would like them to be president again. Opponents may say that the president is being exposed to too much power and getting greedy, but as I said, people won't vote for them again. And there also are two other branches of government. Because of these reasons, I think that we should abolish the president's term limits. Thank you.
My name is Yuran Sinha, and I strongly believe that we should not abolish term limits for president. A candidate running in the election could be better than the current president, but because they're not popular enough, they will never get to introduce their ideas to the White House, and they could also be a better leader than the president. The opponent has said things about how the original Constitution did not limit how the original Constitution did not limit the amount of terms, but they included the term limits because of one reason of people worrying about the president gaining too much power while they're in office. And if a president is used to being in office for too long, they could end up being corrupt and simply advancing their own power instead of making the country better. Thank you.
My name is Charles Wang, and I believe that we should abolish term limits for the presidency. People's opinions are not fully heard because we're limiting the president's time in office. It's not truly democratic that way. If the president is good, why should we remove them? If the president is good, we should keep letting them serve in the office so they'll make good things and changes for the U.S. If the president is bad, that means that we shouldn't vote for them next time during the next election. And if they become corrupt, like our opponent said, then we can remove them during midterm. Everyone will be voted out sooner or later because people want new ideas and opinions, and other leaders will have that. So the presidents will be changed over time, even if not over 2 terms. And the opponent said that one political party might dominate the race. Well, if the political party dominates the race, that means that people like them and their opinions and their beliefs, which means that people are truly showing their opinions. Because if we have term limits, then we can't truly see which party is better or has better beliefs and opinions than the other one. And finally, the original Constitution had no term limits. In conclusion, I believe that we should abolish term limits for the president because it's not truly democratic, and we can always remove them if they become corrupt or act like kings. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alex Zhao. I strongly believe that presidential term limits should not be abolished because of multiple reasons. My opponent said that if the president is bad, then we can remove them. But if they have 4 years in a term, so they can do a lot of things in 4 years. The more a president serves, the more stressed out they'll become. They have to deal with lots of issues in the nation. If they work themselves too hard, it may cause health issues which might endanger themselves. Secondly, switching between political parties will allow the nation to adapt and change to the times. If only one political party is taking control, then people from the other side will not be able to have their voices heard. Also, every candidate will have different new ideas that may be very useful for the nation. Switching through leaders will allow new ideas to be heard and used. Those ideas could be very beneficial for the nation. In conclusion, removing term limits will stress out the president and cause health issues, will not allow the nation to change, and will prevent new ideas from being heard.
All right, now we will participate in crossfire, which will be 3 minutes, and the questioning will start with the protein.
Okay, you guys said that Washington, he refused to serve his third term because he didn't want to be a monarch. That's true. And also to the health problem. He was in his 60s by the time he finished his term. He was all tired and frustrated. He was ready to go home. And also, he knew that he would die soon. And then so he didn't want to die in office because he was afraid that future presidents will also follow his example and be president for life. So that's why. So those are all the reasons that he left.
What was your source for the health problem?
Yeah, my source for the health problem, look online, but the author who wrote it was Charles Moster, who was a former litigation attorney and Ronald Reagan and President Bush administration.
So our source for that was actually that from was George Washington and
Yes, it is true that he did not want to become a monarch, but that's only part of the reason.
But that was only part of the reason that it was a health problem, right?
Well, yes, that's true.
And you, I remember you, Charles, you said that at the beginning of your speech, you said that people's opinions weren't heard, but near the end, you said for the political party that they were heard.
Exactly.
No, I was saying that, if we limit terms, that means that people's opinions are not fully heard. But if one political party dominates the thing, which dominates the government, that means that the people's opinions are heard if we remove the term limit.
But not fully either, because some people also cheer for the political party, and maybe the other political parties like this might be better than the president's political party.
Also, that means that the people will vote for that political party instead.
But he
because
has
they
no
believe
chance.
their opinions
But he
are
has
heard.
no chance because you always vote for that president, and the president who always has what you think good ideas would always become president, right?
Yeah,
But
and
if they're better than the
shown
old president,
that
then
when
people will
political
vote.
parties' popularness grows, more people tend to vote for it.
Yes, but people they don't always vote for the same president. If during campaigning, any election, they're like the election, they're like any election. Two candidates they campaign. If somebody thinks that somebody who is not the current president has better ideas and they'll vote for his office, not your ideas will not be heard.
If only one political party dominates the seat of president, then people who follow the other side will not have their voices heard.
Exactly.
No, but
Because if
when they campaign, they will get their ideas out. It's not just Congress; they also are citizens of the United States.
So what if what about this? Let's just say the citizens get all these
Right.
stuff from you.
Right now, we will have closing statements from pro and con. So, pro.
In conclusion, we believe that we should abolish term limits for the president because it is undemocratic because people's voices cannot be heard by choosing to keep their president, like FDR did. Also, the original Constitution did not have term limits. This is why we think that we should abolish term limits. Thank you.
In conclusion, the term limits for the president should not be abolished because the president could simply become too powerful, and because the current president is too popular, it will severely limit the chances for other candidates. That is why we strongly believe that the term limits for president should not be abolished.
Okay. Are there any statements for the judges about the debate?
Well, I think the both teams did an excellent job. It's very obvious that they worked really hard on their research and writing and today's presentations. I enjoyed listening to them very much and they were well put together. Great job.
Thank you. Next, we will proceed with the next 6 students, the next 6 speeches.
All right, our next speaker is Charles Wang.
My name is Charles White. There lives a creature deep under the sea, so small yet so powerful. It's a mantis shrimp. Hold on, you might ask, what is that? They are wonderful yet extremely powerful creatures. Its abilities include a strong defense, a crushing attack, and powerful vision. They have a very aggressive behavior, which leads to a strong defense. Along with the fact that they're really small and really fast, the structure of their skin is light yet protective. In fact, it's so durable, researchers have been proposing its use in body armor for the military. A mantis shrimp's attack is one of the most powerful and fastest in the animal kingdom. Using its two elbow-like clubs, it strikes prey with a velocity that's the same as a gunshot from a .22 caliber rifle. And this is all happening in less than 1/3000th of a second. In fact, their arms move so fast, the water doesn't have any time to move back into space, creating small cavitation bubbles which quickly disappear. When they collapse, it creates a shockwave that's several thousand kelvins high and stun if not instantly killed through. Finally, its vision is also amazing. We humans, using only 3 color receptors, already see so much in the world. But mantis shrimps have 16 receptors that perceive colors well beyond their range, including polarized light and ultraviolet light. Just imagine that. In conclusion, because of its amazing defense, powerful attack, and breathtaking vision, I believe that mantis shrimps are the most powerful, wonderful, and deadly creatures in the world. It's also my favorite animal. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Christopher Gantel.
Hello, my name is Christopher Ginn, and today I would like to tell you why I think we should put a stop to climate change. Climate change is a change in global or regional climate patterns, particularly a change apparent from the mid to late 20th century onwards, largely increased by the use of fossil fuels. We use fossil fuels to create electricity, but when we burn fossil fuels, they release gases like carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide warms up the earth using the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is what keeps the earth warm. The sun's light comes into the earth. Some of the light bounces off the earth and some gets absorbed by the earth, which makes the earth warmer. The reflected light either gets reflected back by the atmosphere or gets released into space. The gases released by fossil fuels add to the atmosphere, trapping more light in and warming up the earth. But why should we care about climate change? When the earth is warmer, many things can happen at once. Arctic ice can melt and that will increase sea levels. There will not be enough ice for polar bears and other animals to live on. Rising temperatures and sea levels can increase the risk of hurricanes and other natural disasters. Droughts will make it hard for crops to grow. Rising sea levels could put endangered cities near the coast. Because of the warming, loss of habitat, and risks of natural disasters, I think we should put a stop to climate change. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Mulan Yu.
Hello, my name is Mulan Yu. Do you know what the best garden in North America is? According to a USA Today Best Public Garden in North America contest, Longwood Garden was placed #1. This is because it has many great fountain shows and conservatories that are very organized. The conservatory includes a children's garden where you can play with flowers. Also, there are flowers, lots of flowers from all over the world, including desert plants, tropical plants, and plants from all kinds of places. Additionally, there are long corridors between the exhibits, and it feels like that you're going through some fairy tale time tunnel scene. Across from the conservatory, there are also fountain garden shows where they pair music and fountain together. And at night, they also have fires over the fountains, which make it truly beautiful. Near the entrance, there are also tree statues where they carve trees into the shape of animals and other things. In conclusion, Longwood Garden has many great exhibits and relaxing places and has many great shows. You might want to go there for an next vacation. Thank you.
Our next speaker is going to be Arun Sinha.
Have you ever been stumped in a math test and now you hate math? My name is Arun Sinha, and I'm going to tell you that math is actually fun. See, math can teach you so many things that you may have not known before. First of all, it is necessary. You will use math in all parts of your life. One of which is your education. Education by meaning from kindergarten all the way through college, and you will do it eventually at some point in your life. The next point is that math can help with a lot of things. One example would be that when you are cooking, you might have to check the weight of sugar or the grams or the grams of something, or the amount of milk that you may have to add into the dish. The last point is that math will be fun if you practice it. If you practice math enough, you will eventually learn all the things that you are practicing, and then it won't be hard anymore. And then later you will eventually come to see that it is fun. So it is necessary. It can help with a lot of things, and it will become fun if you practice it. And so if you don't like math, try it again, because it's actually very fun. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Alex Jones.
Imagine being able to travel wherever you wish, even across the world in less than a day. That's what an airplane can do. Hi, my name is Alex Jones. Airplanes have always been an efficient way to travel. Airplanes are very useful because they are very fast, can reach many places, and can be used to transfer cargo. First of all, airplanes can travel extremely quick. An average passenger plane can fly up to over 550 miles per hour, which is a lot faster than a car. A plane ride from America to China would only take around 12 hours, but on a boat, it could take up to a week. Secondly, planes can reach places far away. A plane can fly across the world safely and quickly, but if you didn't have access to an airplane, you might be stuck. With a plane, you can go almost anywhere. Also, planes can be used to deliver cargo all around the world. A passenger plane can hold many passengers and their luggage, along with extra cargo hidden inside the plane. There are many things that can be transported across the world. The planes can quickly deliver mail overseas to prevent the plane from making 2 trips. Airplanes are very useful because they're very fast, can reach many places, and can carry lots of cargo along with it. Imagine what life would be like without airplanes.
Our next speaker will be Andrew Young.
Have you ever thought that the school's curriculum was way too easy? Hi, I am Andrew Young, and I would like to tell you why schools should change to a new curriculum. First of all, the school's curriculum is way too easy. And second of all, the smarter students don't get to learn new and harder concepts. One reason why schools should change to a new curriculum is because it's way too easy. For example, in 4th to 5th grade compacted math, we learned in the 5th grade curriculum basic multiplication. And reading doesn't even allow you to learn new vocabulary words. In vocabulary lists, we only have words like thunderstorm, boats, barriers. We already know these words and we know how to spell them. In addition, students above grade level are not allowed to learn new things. Before the new school curriculum, compacted math students were allowed to learn pre-algebra. Now, we just learn faster than the other all grade level students, meaning we only learn 4th grade math and a little bit of 5th grade math. And even though we're in compacted math, most of the students already know easier and faster ways to solve problems, but the teacher only allows you to use the basic concepts. In conclusion, this is why schools should change to a new curriculum, because it's easy and above grade level students are not allowed to learn new things. How would schools help every kid when smarter students don't get to learn new and harder concepts?
So we'll now have our second debate. So if debaters will come up and start filling in seats. The topic of this debate will be, should the U.S. switch to the
Hi, my name is Tina. I strongly believe that USA should switch to the metric system. According to Mind Behind, 95% of the world uses it, so why not us? Second, the metric system is easier to work with. All you have to do is move the decimal point back and forth. It's much more simpler than Rick's block row. You may say that it's too late to change, but it's not. It's easy to learn as long as you try. My opponent said that why change it all of the sudden, but we don't. My opponent said that why change it all of a sudden, but we don't. But if we don't change now, when will we change? The metric system. Thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Perry. I believe that the United States should not change to the metric system. If we change to the metric system, everyone that doesn't know will be confused. General Motors converted to the metric system and it did not go well. They had to lose 11 plants and 29,000 workers lost their jobs. 1,300 will be losing their jobs soon. Using the metric system would impact everything. It would impact house and lot sizes, and packages and packaging machines, road signs, vehicle production, and gas pumps. USA already has its own problems. Even though 95% of countries use it, why do we have to? Just because other people do it, why do we have to? Or why do we have to do it? This is why we shouldn't change the metric system. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Caroline Dove. I strongly believe that we should use the metric system. The metric system is pretty easy to learn. It's not too hard. Other states also use the metric system, so why can't we too? Also, if everyone uses the metric system, then it'll be easier for all of us to understand each other. For kids, we can just move the decimal around. Schools teach the metric system, and if kids already know the metric system, why make them learn another measurement? Many of the people in the U.S. already use the metric system. Why should we make it difficult for them? My opponent may say that it will be difficult for people to learn the metric system, but that is not true, because as I said before, many people in the U.S. already use the metric system. My opponent may also say that we can't force anyone to use it, but we can make them learn it. In conclusion, Americans should use the metric system because it's easy, kids already know it, and some people in the U.S. already use it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Annie Ewan, and I believe that the U.S. should not switch to the metric system. Americans have already been used to using the customary system, and people are more likely to resist change than accept it. Also, no major problems or faults have been found concerning our customary system, so why fix something that isn't even working? Second of all, converting would be very costly. Gas pumps, scales, water meters, thermostats, and road signs, just to name a few, would need to be replaced. It costs $400 just to replace one road sign. And if we did that, all of our tax dollars would go towards that and not towards more important things like education. My opponent may say that converting would benefit the economy, but actually General Motors, a U.S. company that switched to the metric system, had a decline in exports rather than the expected growth. They had to close 11 of their plants, which affected 29,000 workers. They also plan to lay off 1,300 more employees by the end of the year. In conclusion, the U.S. should not switch to the metric system because there would be more disadvantages than advantages. Switching would lead to confusion across the nation and affects the culture and tradition of the U.S. Americans have already seemed to embrace the philosophy that our system works just fine.
My name is Eileen Chi, and I strongly believe that the U.S. should convert to the metric system. The United States is already more metric than any of you guys realize. For example, soda bottles are 1 liter, and American manufacturers have put out all metric cars. The metric system is very simple to use and easy to learn. The only reason why we haven't converted yet is because the majority of Americans don't like change, but this change is for the better of all Americans. Since trade and communication with other nations is critical to the health of our economy, adopting the measurement system used by 95% of the world population is not a matter of choice, but a matter of necessity for the U.S. A great number of everyday items are already manufactured in metric units. There will be many advantages and benefits if we switch to the metric system. For example, it's much easier to make conversions since all you have to do is move the decimal point left and right. We will look foolish to the rest of the world if we don't switch now, and since kids have to learn the metric system, then we don't have to teach them 2 measurement systems since we just have to teach them 1. And we once lost a Mars orbiter because there was a problem in the conversion. If we don't switch now, then we'll never switch. After all, the metric system is the language of medicine, science, and international commerce.
My name is James, and I strongly believe that the U.S. should not switch to the metric system. At the beginning, Thomas Jefferson wanted to switch the U.S. to the metric system. But many people disagree because France started it, and they believe that we shouldn't get involved with French stuff. Also, to be able to switch, it will be really costly. It will take a lot of time to switch. We have to switch road signs, thermals, and many more. I don't think football fans would want to watch football on a 91-meter field. Also, we Americans like to be unique, and the majority of us don't want to switch. We don't want to change. Benefits of switching are negligible, but costs are huge.
Alright, we will now have a 3-minute crossfire.
So, where did you get your source for? It is not too late. Because someone said it's not too late.
I don't have a source for that, but it's not good because all you have to do is just learn it. It really isn't technically happening. James, you said that Thomas Jefferson said that we should use the metric system, but everyone thought that it was too French. What is your source?
It's history because the metric system was developed by France.
Yeah, but 95% of the world uses it. So what do you mean by we shouldn't get involved in French stuff?
Because in the beginning, at the time, only a couple countries used it. Only a couple European countries, most of the European continent used it. But since the French developed the system, we didn't want the French to be involved with our own country because at the time George Washington said don't get involved. That's why we decided to use customers. And also, how do you know that all schools teach the metric system?
Because many kids learn the metric system.
You just said many. You just said many. You didn't say all. And you said all schools, but now you're saying many.
How do you know that? How do you know that many schools teach the metric system?
Because all schools are required to teach both systems. So it'll be easier if we just learn one so kids won't be confused.
Well, are you going to teach a 100-year-old the metric system?
Because most people, you said most people in the United States know the metric system. Where'd you get that?
Oh, I got it from showcertified.com.
How do you know that site is reliable?
Well, it's like not reliable, so
How are you sure it's not reliable?
because it's reliable. And also, you said that, James, you said that that football fans might not want to will not want to watch football on a 91-meter field. Isn't that basically the same size as the football field we have right now, only in a different form of saying it?
Yeah, but still,
Why would that doesn't make any
it
sense?
would be more complicated.
And what source did you get that on?
By the way, if it's a 91-meter field, there's probably
usually on our school, they like divide it up into like different sections, so you can't really divide everyone that easily into different sections unless
if you
comes together. Oh, and also, how
Time.
many?
Alright, let's have our closing argument.
In conclusion, we believe that the U.S. should fully convert to the metric system. Kids don't have to learn two measurement systems and they won't be as confused. It is very simple to learn and easy to use. Now we can finally switch to the measurement system that 95% of the world uses. Thank you.
In conclusion, the U.S. should not switch to the metric system. It will be way too costly, and it also be inconvenient, and it will take a lot of time to switch. Our customary system has served us for about 200 years, so why should we change? It served us well, and we don't have problems with it. So why should we suddenly switch?
That concludes our presentation. And I guess the judges have any comments? Well, I would like to say I'm very proud of all 12 students. I think they did a good job. As you know, they picked all of the topics. They did all of their own research. They came up with their own strategies and argument structure. So I think they did a really good job from Monday to today. So I ask that you all give them another round of applause. And I think that concludes our presentation. Yes, we would like to take some group pictures. So I guess we would like for all of the yeah, so we'll do public speaking advance first, and then we'll do Drew. All right.